Hello, so we are live. Today I'm talking about negotiation and I hope that you're all settling into your seats. This is Hello and Photo Design. Hi, I'm live on Instagram and on Facebook in our group, and today we're talking about negotiation. Hi, thank you. So the three key takeaways for today are going to be understanding negotiation and your own attitude towards it, becoming aware of who you negotiate with, and tips on how to become better at negotiation to benefit yourself and your family. Hi, Kristen. How? Thanks for joining us. So I'll be sharing my top tip on what changed my own attitude. This one truly changed everything for me, and I got this tip from my lawyer. So if you're joining us, please pull up your worksheets. They are in the Facebook group. If you're on Instagram, check out our bio link and join our Facebook group. We have some awesome contests in our Facebook group you don't want to miss out. Hi, Alicia. Thanks for joining. And my nugget of those, for those of you who are not staying with us for the full show, I encourage you to get better with money and negotiation, okay? Whatever that next step is for you, take it. Your literacy in these two areas will make a big difference in your lifetime earnings. So remember, women stand to lose up to $1 million over a lifetime because we are taught to save and budget as girls. We don't negotiate our salary as much. We make $5,000 to $6,000 less straight out of university. We take more career breaks for caregiving of the young and elderly, right? We get the shorter end of the stick, usually in divorce, and we don't invest as much, and the financial industry is geared towards men, and we live longer. So it's no coincidence that our first two live shows are about money and negotiation. If there are only two things that you're going to do for your career during your mat leave, please let them be in that area. Okay, please let them be in money and negotiation. If you missed our money live, get into our units section in our Facebook group and watch it with the worksheet, and just get really literate on money and negotiation, because it'll make a huge difference in your lifetime. I've been working for moms on mat leave for more than 2 years now, and these are my two top tips: money and negotiation. That's why we are doing our live shows about that to start. Okay, so first, start with intention. It all starts with where you want to go. Learn, document, and go for it. Some of you are going to think, well, it's COVID right now. Who's going to give me a raise, right? It's really hard to even get a job. Well, I have a job when I go back to mat leave, but the truth is you're not going to become good at negotiating overnight. You have to prepare for it. You have to document. So if you're not comfortable with it and you hate it, start by reading up about it and prepare and start documenting why you want that raise, right? So the only person who can ensure that you get paid what you deserve is you. So negotiate. Being good at your job is no guarantee you'll be paid what you're worth. You must fight to get the compensation you merit. Find out what others in your position get. Get feedback from your friends and peers about your performance, and go ask for that promotion and raise, but you have to do the groundwork before. So you're responsible for your financial well-being. Learning about how to use, save, earn, or invest your money is important. And understanding how money works is a key source of power in business and life. So only when you're confident in yourself and what you want, that's key. You have to know. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Erin. Thank you for joining. So I'm talking about negotiation. I'll repeat some of the topics, but essentially only when you're confident in yourself and what you want, that's key, will you have the clarity and focus to look ahead and figure out your next steps, okay? So when you prepare to ask for a raise or negotiate a salary, remember that you work for a business that will pay you only as much as they offer. So don't make it personal, and shed your tears and emotions before you negotiate. Never apologize for asking for what you're worth, and ask your colleagues and mentors who get the salaries they wanted how they made that happen. When you're in their position, paid for to someone who needs advice and support. Okay, so that was my introduction, my nugget for those of you who have to drop off. At least I hope you get some wisdom to get started, but please, I hope you remain with us because we have so much good information for you. So first of all, comment, because the most active participant will get a gift card to Starbucks. So we did that last week. Yaya was our winner. So be an active participant and we'll send you a gift card. We want you to learn. That's why we're encouraging you. Complete the worksheet that's in the Facebook group. You can complete it later with the recording. follow our Instagram account, and share. Okay, ladies, the world is not geared towards working parents. Ladies and men, whoever is here on the line, if we want to change this, we have to work together. So please bring other parents into this group. And we have an amazing contest running. You can win $150 at Amazon, a gift card, because we love diaper deliveries. I know there's other local businesses that will support, but I love diaper deliveries, and that's how I can survive right now. So, participate in our contest. The person who introduces the most career-minded moms to this group until June 15 will win the card. We'll announce it in this group during the workshop, during our June 15 workshop. We have a 5-day intensive for free on money, negotiation, relationships, going back to work, postpartum support, right? So to participate, you have to make a 2-way introduction to one of our Pros and Babes team members. That's Ridgevere. Tell Ridgevere and your friend why this mom is awesome and why she should join us. So tell her what she'll learn. Tahia is going to post in our Facebook group on how to do this. And Amanda, you're saying you read a really good book on negotiation. You'll look it up and share the title. Thank you. Please do that. So please participate in our contest. You could win $150 at Amazon. Tahia is going to post the details and we'll follow up on the contest, right? Okay, so I know that some of us are just joining us for now for the first time. I'm going to give you an official welcome. Welcome to our live show. If you're joining us for the first time, we're doing this every Friday at 9:45 a.m. MST or 11:45 EST on Facebook and our Instagram. Facebook has awesome bonuses, so join our group. Our link is in our bio. And during each live, we're focusing on a number of topics that relate to you, whether you're an ambitious mom or dad looking for ways to navigate and transform into the working parent role successfully. And I noticed that we have many new members in this group. So if this is your first live show, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. We'll do this for about 30 minutes. I know your little people require a lot of attention, so if you need to jump off, then do so and then come back. Recordings will be available. So worksheets and repostings are available. Now for the ones who are meeting me for the first time, I'm Kenya Romanovska. I'm a mom of 2, an 8-month-old and a 3-year-old, and I'm the CEO here at Pros and Babes, where we help ambitious moms on mat leave align their goals and their skills with the role as a mother to successfully gain the right mindset, skills, control, and organization for working motherhood, as well as the confidence to know that you're protecting your career and your income during your mat leave. And our whole philosophy, there's no one else in Canada taking this approach, is mat leave is an opportunity for learning and advancing your career. And we'll give you that structure and information and skills you need to succeed. And we'll connect you with other moms because it can be so lonely. Some of you really like your jobs and others don't understand that. They don't understand why you're excited to work. You maybe are judged or shamed. There's no shaming for loving your career here. You can both love your families and your careers, okay? So take advantage. In the next few weeks, we're giving tons of support for free. And in June, we have a 5-day workshop coming up. So if you want more, we're also lining up a long-term program for you to feel completely supported during your mat leave from A to Z. Okay, and Taki is posting the registration link to that workshop there. So what's next? I'll repeat what we're talking about today. Understanding negotiation and your own attitude towards it. Becoming aware of who you negotiate with. Tips on becoming a better negotiator to benefit yourself and your family. And I'll share my top tip on what changed my own attitude. Hi, Marie-Pierre, I see you joined us on Insta. Welcome. Hi, Janice. So comment, fill out your worksheet, share, and register for June. Now let's get into negotiation. If you have any questions or comments, I encourage you to leave a comment and engage with me in a private message or respond after the show. We love introducing what matters to you in later shows and later programming. Now here's an anecdote. I used to live in a condo complex. I was part of the board. Well, my husband was the president and I watched like a hawk. And we had issues with one of the pieces of structure of our condo structure. And one person on the board was not acting in good faith. In fact, he decided not to show up to meetings anymore. And it took us about 1.5 years to solve this issue. 1.5 years. So much angst, late night conversations, stress, and we weren't comfortable about negotiation. We just saw it as a conflict. How many difficult nights and difficult conversations could we have avoided if we had a different attitude to negotiation, if we saw it as creative problem solving and not as a conflict where somebody has to win or somebody has to lose, right? So first step, negotiation, see it as creative problem solving, It's not a conflict. It's not a battle. You're coming to the game. The other person's coming to the game. Even if you don't know it's a negotiation, you're facing a problem together and you have to solve it together. So that was the one tip that really changed my attitude towards negotiation, is that I saw it as creative problem solving. And suddenly I felt a lot less afraid to negotiate because I saw it as something exciting and as a challenge. You want something, the other person wants something. So if you're coming together to creatively problem solve, suddenly it'll be better. Hi, Shoshi, welcome. So we're talking about negotiation. Thank you. So negotiation is really a crucial skill, and I want you to think about your own attitude about negotiation. Hi, Taryn. Thank you. Thanks for that. So Lee Thompson from the Kellogg School of Management said that no economic skill has as much writing on it as negotiation. And when it comes to negotiation, one of the main reasons that people don't get what they want is because they don't know what they want. So I want you to write down in the comments, what is it that you want? Taki is going to be posting some questions. What do you want at work? What do you want in terms of money? What do you want in your relationship with your spouse, relationship with children, in-laws, purchases, possessions? I see new people are joining. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Alicia. Excellent. Alicia signed up. Thank you. Hi, Shoshi. So write down in the comments, what do you want in these categories? Maybe just one thing. Hi, Morgan. Hi, Marie-Pierre. So write down in the comments, what do you want for work, money, relationship with your spouse, relationship with children, relationship with in-laws, purchases, possessions, or anything else. So if you don't know what you want, you can't negotiate for it and you can't get it, right? Now, again, write down what you want. Perfect. You love the creative solving problem perspective. Thank you, Amanda. So now that you've written down, I'm waiting for the comments. Please write down what you want. Takia is posting it in Facebook, right? Let's see what is holding you back. Let's understand the common barriers in negotiation. And remember, often we negotiate, but we don't know we're doing it. A lot of negotiations are not scheduled. You kind of get into the mode of doing it every day. Chris Voss, I see something streaming on my Facebook all the time that we negotiate everything, including our Starbucks coffee, right? Hi, Kristen. So Kristen's a professional and, a business owner and professional branding, and that's so important for moms. So she's really big on negotiation as well. Thank you so much for joining our show. So we're talking about the barriers, understanding the barriers in negotiation. What are you afraid of in negotiation? And Taki is going to pose that. Are you afraid of being assertive? Are you afraid of being assertive? Are you afraid of looking stupid? Are you afraid of looking what you currently have, right? Are you afraid of setting a precedent in a negative way? Are you afraid of being outmaneuvered, of gamesmanship, of jeopardizing existing relationships? So what are your fears? Write them down and then work on changing that. Assertive women usually get labeled as demanding, but agreeable women make less money, according to a 2016 psychology study. Women should resist the impulse to apologize when asking for better compensation and should practice asserting themselves in low-stakes, everyday situations. Most women tend to feel better about negotiation when they're acting on others' behalf, so consider your request as a chance to advance gender equality. So practice every day. Practice. See, I see the comments. Shoshi's afraid. Hi, Kristen. Shoshi says she's afraid of not getting what you want. Leanne, afraid of losing work for charging too much. You know, Leanne wants financial security. A lot of you are joining us. So we're talking about negotiation right now and we're talking about the fears. So I'm asking you to write about what you're afraid of in negotiation. Women should acknowledge their value and teach themselves to take charge, right? So author Barbara Stanley writes in Secrets of Six-Figure Women that women who earn less than they deserve share several traits. They accept low-salary jobs and will even work for free. They see living in poverty as noble and they endure financial chaos. Salaries aren't a matter of personal values. Instead, approach salary negotiations professionally. Use numbers to describe your achievements. Bring proof of your worth. Include salary statistics or congratulatory emails and ask your boss for feedback a few months prior to asking for a raise so you can show how much you've progressed. So people right now are wondering, should I be asking for a raise during COVID? Or will I even have a job to go back to? As I mentioned, negotiation is not something that you become good at overnight. You have to prepare. So those are some things that you can do to prepare. Start documenting. Anastasia, you say, I feel like I'm white knuckling it when I actually do it, but it feels so good to do things like wind up getting paid reasonably. Yes, right? So many women working for free, right? So yes, That's unfortunate. So, as I said, don't see negotiation as conflict. Your employer wants you for some reasons, right? And you want something from your job. See it as creative problem solving. That's the number one step and my big tip for how I changed my own attitude to negotiation. So this is how you can start preparing for that next raise. Start documenting. Even if you're on mat leave, take a moment if you have access to your work email, or just jot down really good things you did and write down how much money you want and what is it that you want, or other conditions that you want, and just mentally start planting the seed. Intention is everything. So going back to salary negotiation, we're saying ask for feedback from your boss a few months before asking for a raise so you can show how much you've progressed. And also think about salary transparency. It's an important step toward closing the wage gap between women and men, right? So look for information. Use sites like Glassdoor to see how others are earning money. Now, we talked about the fears of looking stupid, fears of what you currently have, fear of setting a precedent in a negative way, fear of being outmaneuvered, and fear of gamesmanship, fear of jeopardizing existing relationships. So in some of the Pros and Babe cohorts that I'm running right now, the intensive ones, the weekly ones where moms interact with others, we talked about fear and the different types of fear and your inner critic, and the fear that wakes up when you're trying to get out of your comfort zone, that inner critic inside of you that sits at the edge of your dreams, and you're about to do something big, and that inner critic wakes up and wants to protect you. So remember, if your inner critic is speaking up in your mind and stopping you from doing something, no, they want to protect you. But you can say, thank you, inner critic, I've listened to you, but now I'm going to step boldly to do something. So if your voice inside is stopping you from negotiating, just say thank you and try to take that next bold step anyway. So Kristen, you said you're afraid of all of those things too. You're more afraid of not getting what you're worth and missing out on the next level. And I have to see what's the rest of the comment. I can't pull it up, but thank you for sharing your comment. I'm sure others can relate to you. So, okay, what other barriers do we have in a negotiation? Confidence. Feeling like you have a weak position or not understanding the full implications of position, lack of preparation or distraction by other competing priorities, or personality concerns. You can feel shy, introverted, nervous to speak in public. So, if those are the barriers you're facing, right, write them down and start chipping away at it and read up about it and share it with others. Ask other moms in this group for encouragement, right? So Tahia, please post this poll. What's your next step to get better? What can you do to get better? Be prepared and practice. Talk with others in similar situations. Understand your BATNA, the best alternative to no agreement. Brainstorm around ZOPA, zone of potential agreement. Understand facts, do research, explore possibilities. So lots of technical jargon here. Maybe you can start reading some articles about negotiation to make it a habit. But remember what I said at the beginning. If there are two things that I want you to do during your mat leave, and you're going to do only two things for your career, is to learn about money and learn about negotiation. It's the foundation of everything. That one tip could change thousands and up to $1 million over your lifetime. Okay, so read up about it. If you're hearing the word BATNA for the first time, if you're hearing about ZOPA for the first time, Google it, find out what it is, what it means, and get familiar with it, and practice it even with your spouse or your toddler if you want to have a little bit of fun. So I'll give you an anecdote about some negotiation. I really like negotiating. It's easier to do informally when you don't always find yourself in a position where you can formally negotiate something, whether you're sitting with a person and you're kind of getting into this formal game of negotiation, right? So I love to practice negotiation to get into the mindset. A few years ago, it was maybe over 10 years ago, I was at a conference in Baku in Azerbaijan, and there's a beautiful ancient city there, and there's a market, and my background is in journalism and communications, and I'm also Polish, and I love all these kind of Eastern European trinkets. So there was this beautiful mug that I really wanted, and it wasn't that expensive, but I negotiated so hard for it, like 10 or 15 minutes. I think I embarrassed my hosts how hard I was negotiating, but I saw it as a game, and I got the mug, and it was just $1 less, but I practiced. And same thing, my husband bought a secondhand guitar in Kijiji a couple of years ago, and he doesn't like conflict at all. So I just encouraged him to ask. I told him, ask, negotiate, and see what happens. Like, what have you got to lose? You can get another guitar. And he asked, and he saved $100 on that guitar. So it was fun. It was not his job that was at stake. He could definitely find another guitar, but he got out of his comfort zone. So one of the first things you can do is, we're buying a lot of secondhand stuff these days. Can you negotiate on Kijiji and see it as a game? I sometimes tell people, you know what? I won't have respect for myself if I don't try to negotiate with you. So I smile, I laugh out of it. And if they don't want to negotiate and they stand their position, even if I've tried different angles, that's okay, right? That's okay, it's fine. But I asked, I took that next step. So what do you want to achieve in negotiation in the next year in these areas? And I'm gonna look at the comments. I see Michelle joined us. Thank you, Michelle. We were talking about what's holding us back in negotiation. We were talking about barriers, fears, right? So a lot of people are writing comments. And Alicia commenting, Jacqueline is commenting. Thank you, follow that and encourage each other. Excellent. So now we're going to talk about what we want to achieve in these areas of the negotiation the next year. So division of labor at home. Perhaps you want to divide the labor more evenly with your spouse, or maybe you're happy with how it's currently going. USA Today recently posted an article stating how women are taking on a greater share of parenting responsibilities during home isolations, and men tend to think they're contributing more to the kids than they actually are, right? So Tahi is going to post that article. Would you say that's true for your household, or is the division of labor pretty 50-50? You may even notice that your spouse is taking on more labor duties within the home during the pandemic. So, you know, is that the case? What's happening in your household in terms of division of labor? Thanks for the anecdote. It needs to be, it helps to be clear on what you're willing to pay. Absolutely. So what's going on in your household? Write it down. I'm going to take a little sip of water because that's a lot of talking. How's the division of labor in your house? Write it up, okay? I really like Lauren Brody. She wrote The Fifth Trimester. She had a column recently on negotiating in different areas of life. So she says, somebody asked, how do I get my husband to pitch in and help with my child's distance learning? We both have full-time jobs that keep us very busy all day at home. So she says, and I'm going to quote her, as many smart parenting columnists have pointed out, this is not homeschooling, this is crisis schooling. But as time stretches on without any clear finish line, it's becoming clear that this crisis can just be our new normal. Okay, so for those of us fortunate enough to have partners, we need equity. And for many of us, we need a reset on those panicked early days of quarantine fast, right? So she sees this coming up a lot in her coaching, even with super progressive, well-intended couples. Typically, mom will take longer parental leave than dad. And then when mom goes back to work, she's the one who knows how to do all the baby things and also wants them done her way, and she capitalized that. It's only natural, but it's unsustainable, and it really isn't fair to either partner or their kids, right? So the fastest way to fix this is for mom to go back to work and then for dad to take a week or two with baby totally on his own. It's boot camp, and it works as dad learns on the job and both parents see how utterly capable he is. So I wonder if you can try a similar type of reset at home right now. Can you have a day, even just one day, when due to a massive work project of yours, dad has to take a day off work and do the kids stuff completely? So that's one tip that Lauren Brody gives for that. And I'm going to see the comments. Division of labor is 40-60 for Leanne, but you always have to push that our work is equally important. Okay, perfect. Louise is talking about an anecdote about Melinda Gates. I unfortunately can't see the rest of the comments, but thank you for sharing. Taryn saying on Instagram, your husband, Taryn, is taking on more, but there's room for improvement. You want to improve. She wants to be negotiating on portfolio and salary. Big year for you, Taryn, of course. And your husband is off for the summer and you think it'll be a game changer for you, right? We sometimes stand in our own way where we want things done our way. I've resisted sometimes, well, not always, but I hear the baby wailing and I hear he's with my husband, but I have to let him figure it out, right? So, okay, another question Lauren Brody is getting. I had a typo, so it's Brody if somebody wants to look her up. How can I negotiate for continued virtual work even when things reopen? So somebody's asking her, I'm still doing my work video, but I have a question. Oh, that's a kid talking. When is the pandemic going to be over? Perfect. Just a big unanswerable question the mom was hoping to tackle. So what is Lauren Brody's advice? What is Lauren Brody's advice? Well, first, you know, for people in non-essential worker jobs, she doesn't think that it's going to be a light switch going back on. We're going to have to ramp up childcare that might have evaporated. Workplaces might need to enforce social distancing that would thin out the number of people who can be present at once, necessitating some shift work from home. But right now, when you're in the middle of this mess in middle, start taking notes of what's working, what's good, what may even be getting better than before. Are you able to log in earlier because you don't have a commute? Are you meeting face-to-face with clients more often instead of playing perpetual phone tag, even if it's on screen, right? And do you have more appreciation for your colleagues' personal lives in a way that makes your team stronger? And the next step is, can you assign a dollar value to those improvements? It might feel weird, but just try. Because another question that came in about how to negotiate, it might mean taking a pay cut. And you can't negotiate the value of your work or your time unless you start believing in yourself. So start taking notes right now. Hi, Dallas, welcome. So we're talking about some tips on negotiating with your spouse on how to share labor more evenly. We're talking about negotiating working from home even as things lift. And then negotiating about not working after hours after the kids go to bed to get it done. So somebody's returning from mat leave soon. So use what Lauren Brody recommends. Hi, Jasmine. Thanks for coming. So hi, Carolina. Thank you for joining us. So Lauren Brody is saying right now, use the fact that everybody's kind of vulnerable to your advantage right now. We're all in the trenches. We're all in a difficult circumstance. Many people are asking for accommodations. Hi, Cassandra. Thank you all for joining. So many people are asking for accommodations right now that they need. And the best advice, she says, come with a plan. Don't come just with a problem. Do some external research to see what's worked for other new parents in your industry, and think about your job description and how you can deliver it on new terms working from home, right? So make sure that if your boss has any concerns about your continued working from home, make sure that you come with a plan and reassure her. And one of the best things you can do, and that I didn't know when I was going back to work to my corporate job, is suggest a pilot. Some people might be reluctant, so suggest a short pilot. Say, can we continue this for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and take stock and see if it's working or what not working. So always come with a plan and not just a program and not just a problem, okay? So, all right, negotiation at work, position, salary, responsibilities, that's what we're talking about. Many women that we've worked with say they've become better at negotiation when it comes to work flexibility and hours after becoming a mother, but not necessarily when it comes to salary raises. Would you agree? Do you agree that you are still shy about salary raises? Do you agree with that? Can you write that in the comments? Okay, so we'll track that later. Now let's recap. We were talking about areas where you can negotiate, whether it's with your spouse, whether it's with your colleagues. It might even be with your in-laws. You first have to be clear on what you want. And then my top tip on negotiating, something that changed everything for me, is seeing it as creative problem solving. And I owe that to my lawyer. She came to give a workshop to our mat leave cohort where we met in person before the pandemic. But she says, see negotiation as creative problem solving. It doesn't have to be a conflict. It doesn't have to be a situation where one person wins, one person loses. So that changed everything for me when it comes to negotiation. Now I'm repeating, we have a contest here. You could win a $150 gift card from Amazon, for example, for diaper deliveries if you don't want to get out. The person who introduces the most career-minded mamas to our group here by June 15th, where we have our 5-day intensive workshop. So you're going to win an Amazon gift card for $150 for anything that you need for you and your family. And to participate, we're posting it in the comments there. You have to do an introduction to our Ridgevere, introduce them through a two-way DM through Ridgevere, and tell the mom why she's awesome and why she should join our group, okay? So look for the details. You could win $150. Now some negotiation advice. So negotiation can be tricky, especially if you're not comfortable with the person you're negotiating with. So more negotiation advice. First, know what you want. I mentioned that. Then make the first offer. You can get the upper hand. When it comes to your job and asking for a raise, make that initial offer. Believe it or not, women who ask for a raise are more likely to get one than those who don't. Now, hi Melissa, thank you for joining. So negotiation can be really tricky. That's one tip, but you'll read contradictory advice that women get treated differently when it comes to negotiations, right? And so you have to really prepare strategically. Women actually tend to treat other women worse when they're asking for things. So I'm not going to get into that today. You can read up about leaning in and the dangers of negotiation, but think about asking for that next raise and start preparing for it. Be patient. Negotiation is a long game. If you don't get what you want right away, you might be able to get it in the long term. So don't get discouraged and think about what other things you might want besides a pay raise, right? Is it flexibility? Is it a different job title? Is it working from home? Is it a new accessory for your desk? So think about the different things that you might want from negotiating. right? And pretend you're negotiating for somebody else. Sometimes this helps relieve the extra pressure you put on yourself. So the only person, I repeat, the only person who can ensure that you get paid what you deserve is you, so negotiate. Being good at your job is no guarantee that you get paid for what you're worth. You must fight to get the compensation you merit. Find out what others in your position earn, get feedback from your friends and peers about your performance, and go ask for that promotion and raise. You can be filling that out in the worksheet. If you're watching this show as a recording at a later time, fill out your worksheet. It's going to be posted in our units, and it's in our comments. So you're responsible for your financial well-being. Learning how to use, save, earn, or invest money is important. Understanding how money works is a key source of power in business and in life. Amanda, you're saying you've asked about eligibility for raises and bonuses with mat leave, but I've never otherwise tried to negotiate. So Tahia is also posting some key pieces of advice. Remember, only when you are confident in yourself and what you want will you have the clarity and focus to look ahead and figure out your next steps. So whether you're writing it on your worksheet today or in the notes or in the comments, you have to know what you want. That is the first step. And last week when I was talking about money, you can rewatch the money live. I pulled up some scrappy sheets of paper that I had in terms of how much I wanted in terms of money, and all I wanted came true. I wrote it down and it acted in my subconscious. So I think that's going to be it for our live show today. Thank you so much for participating. You can still comment. We're going to send a Starbucks gift card to the person who's participating on our Facebook Live. If you're joining us on Instagram this week, make sure you're joining our Facebook group so you're eligible to participate in our contests. Janice, you like the idea of a pilot, so I gave a tip of, if you're asking something at work, suggest a pilot. You might not need to ask for flexibility in the long term. You might have to reassure your boss. Sometimes your boss wants to support you, but there are structures in place that prevent them from doing that. If there's some flexibility in their mind, try to reassure them and help them understand their position, not just what you want. Have sympathy for their situation, because managers can often be sandwiched between roles, and they might be setting a precedent that they're not comfortable, or they might not have the resources to support you, right? Thanks, Kimberly. Thank you for your support and for joining. So there you go. Another research I can suggest. I'm curious about it. I haven't looked at it, but there's some master classes from Chris Voss, who is leading authority on negotiation. So I see him on my Facebook feed. I'm enticed now. He says that everything is a negotiation. A negotiation at Starbucks is for your coffee is a negotiation. I'm not sure if I understand that really, but if anybody knows why negotiating for your coffee at Starbucks is actually negotiation, let me know in the comments. Thank you. Thanks. I hope that this was useful. Thanks, Michelle. So as I said, my top tip for today is negotiation doesn't have to be a conflict. It's creative problem solving. And I want to know next week what you're going to do to advance in it. Are you going to creatively problem solve with your spouse? Are you going to write down what you want to do next? Are you going to pick up a book on negotiation? Two things, ladies and dads: money and negotiation, my two topics. And for our year-long program that we'll be launching soon, we're going to be touching upon so much more and really in depth on all of that. But two things: I want to see you making more money, and I want to see you negotiating better. Adios, everyone. See you next week. Next topic is parenting. Don't forget to invite other moms to come join this group. You could win $150 for inviting other career-minded moms. So introduce them to Ridge Veer, watch our comments, and make sure you come for our future live show. Corey, I think you just joined. We're wrapping up. I was giving my top tip about negotiation is treating it as creative problem solving and not as conflict. You can rewatch the live show. It's going to be posted, and we have a worksheet, okay? Thanks, everyone. Bye. Have a great day. Hi, Nicole. We're just wrapping up. You can watch the recording. Thank you so much for joining us.